I wanted to put to rest some questions that have been answered for haven't been answered for about 3 years, and I've been getting a lot of shit for it. For those of you that don't live under a rock or something, my username deafchicke23 has some meaning behind it, and I get the normal questions about it, so I'm gonna break the mold here, right here, now, and just explain what's going on. deafchicke23 means that I was always the deaf girl with my friends. I was always the one. I'm hard of hearing, for those of you that don't know. I'm deaf in my left ear, and I have no hearing in there whatsoever. And a lot of my concentration in hearing in certain places has to do with my right, and lip reading as well. I know I'm fluent in American Sign Language. I've been fluent since I was 7. I taught myself. I wanted to lay to rest that for those that are in the deaf community and have deaf rights and have fought deaf rights, and I want to make it clear that I'm not playing a game. I'm not playing deaf. I'm not doing anything that would be considered rude to the deaf community. I have deaf roots. I have deaf friends. I go to deaf events. I wanted to make it perfectly clear that I'm not here to make fun of the deaf society or culture that it is, that with such a rich culture and such wonderfulness, that I would never mistake or use for something that isn't wonderful, because the culture itself is really great. And I wanted to, I got really pissed off because I had a channel comment from someone saying that I was faking this whole situation and that I was playing deaf, and that hurt, because people tend to realize, people tend to go, oh, you're hard of hearing, you can hear out of your right ear. How hard could it possibly be? It's not as easy as it sounds, because when in certain areas, in certain places, you miss out on a lot of conversation. A place like Applebee's, or a bar, or certain places that I go to, or in just the amount of people at a certain place. You have to concentrate on what you're hearing and who you're trying to concentrate with. Plus, I'm ADD, so that doesn't help. And it really takes a lot of energy to, focus on a conversation. I mean, a case in point, a couple weeks ago, we all went out to dinner, and there were like 10 of us, I think, and we were in Applebee's or something, and I usually sit across from people so I could read lips, because it's easier, and from the spatial dynamic of ASL, it's easier. And it gets really frustrating because, people getting at you at all different sides, and I was sitting there, really, I didn't say much, because I feel left out of the conversation, and normally when I tell people, repeat that, they're frustrated with it, and they just say no, whatever. I have a couple of friends that sign that are hearing, but they don't live near me. My friend Christopher Edry and I have been friends for so long, and normally he's my interpreter. My friend Katie, she lives all the way in Texas now, married to her husband, and she's normally is my interpreter as well. She's great. She's wonderful. And Edry lives in Huntington. I live in Oceanside. That's about, give or take, an hour and a half drive. How I drive could be maybe 20 minutes. But, yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say. I'm not trying, I am who I am. And for those of you to think that this is, not as hard as it sounds, take a chance to think, just, realize that, take a step in somebody else's shoes, because you can't sit there and say that you know what it's like, because you don't. If you're a hearing person, that's what you are. If you're a deaf person, that's what you are. If you're hard of hearing, like I am, I have to live in between both worlds. And it's very hard to try to blend that into my life. And, because in any case I go through, in any situation I go through, I'm not deaf enough, or I'm not hearing enough. So I'm constantly on the fence of which thing, of trying to get better at both. And it's really frustrating, and no one listens, because it's a situation that no one should be in. But you know what? God dealt me this hand, and I'm gonna deal with it. It's just how it is. Now, if you don't like what I'm saying, and you believe in your stuff, that's fine. You can unsubscribe. I'll have no problem with that. But I'm just letting you know now, I am a hard of hearing woman. And the joke with deafchicke23 is that I'm always the deaf chick. It's always been my story. No more, no less. Alright, that's my ramble. Thanks for listening, guys. Peace out. And try to walk in somebody else's shoes for a day and see how they feel. Peace.